Guys, this is the part one of the AI coding assistant project, and in which we will see how we can develop the backend of for this project. So this is the basic schematic of the functionality that we are going to develop in this tutorial. We are going to use the router chain from the LangChain, and we will see how it works and how we can leverage its capability for our project. So router chain in the LangChain, it consists of two parts like the LLM and has the definitions of different destinations chains as well. So here is the input. So in our project, the input can be any given coding problem or problem statement. So it can be very hard or it can be very easy. It depends upon you that which kind of input you are giving to the router chain as input. So let's say the input can be give me the factorial of any given number like 5, and so the input will go to the directly to the router chain, and inside the router chain we have LLM. So LLM will understand the input, and then it will ponder on the definitions or different given chain definitions. Like we have different chains definitions, like the Python chain definition, we have the C++ chain definition, SQL chain definition, or the default chain definition. So in each, by definition, I mean what is the functionality of the Python chain and what kind of prompt it uses inside it. And yeah, similarly for the other chains, C++ chains, what is the functionality of C++ chain? And similarly for the SQL chain as well. So router chain has all these different definitions chains inside in it, and depending upon the input, the LLM will decide to which destination chain the input should be routed to. So let's say we have a input statement like give me the factorial of number 5 in Python code. So the LLM will understand this input and will route this input to the Python chain. So here we have the actual destination chains. Here we have only the definitions of these destination chains. So we have the actual chains here, like the Python chain, C++ chain, SQL chain, and the default chain. So these are all the LLM chains from the LangChain. So you can also place different other kind of chains like the sequential chain or the SQL chain inside these destination chains, but we are only using the LLM chains from the LangChain. So the Python chain can only code in Python. C++ chain can only code in the C++. Similarly, if we have any given statement that you want to solve by using the SQL, then the SQL chain will work on top of it and will give us the output. So if the router chain thinks that I should not route the input to these three chains, then the input will automatically will be routed to the default chain. So the default chain is very, you can say, independent, and it can give you any sort of output. But these three destination chains can only function as per the definitions that we have assigned them to do. Yeah. So this is the basic functionality that we are going to develop in our code. So without any waste of time, let's start it. So guys, let's walk through the code of the coding assistant using the router chain from the LangChain. So we are going to need these three libraries, LangChain, OpenAI, and the Python.env library. So let's install them. It will take a while to install these libraries. Yeah. So we are going to import a couple of things from the LangChain library, like the multi-prompt chain, LLM router chain, a multi-prompt router template. So we will see how these things works in our implementation. So, similarly, we are going to need the LLMs, and we are going to use the OpenAI LLMs. If you guys want to use any other LLMs like the Llama or the Falcon, you can also use them inside your LangChain library. Similarly, we are going to use the LLM chains in our implementation. Our each chain will be comprising of this LLM chain. So if you are need to use any sort of other chain from the lang chain like the SQL chain or the sequential chain, you can also use that inside your router chain. This is the default prompt template from the lang chain we will be using. Load-n library will be used to import the environment variables. Here we have import the Open API key. Let's run it. Yeah. So in our step one, we are going to work on destination chains. And for our destination chains, here we have declared the three prompts for each of our destination chain. Like the first one is the Python code prompt. This prompt will be used for the Python LLM chain, and it says that you can do coding only and only in Python. You are not allowed to code in any other language. If someone asks you to code in Python, then do it. Otherwise, answer politely that I am only allowed to do it code in Python, nothing else. And here our actual input will come. Similarly, for the C++ code prompt, we have copied the same one, same prompt here, and for the SQL prompt as well. So it will work on top of the SQL input problem statement. So these are the three prompts for the destination chains. Now here we have declared all the destination chains info that will be used for the declaring the destination chains, and it is actually a list, and inside our list each element is a form of a dictionary, and each dictionary in each dictionary we have three keys, like the name. This is the name of the destination chain, like the Python expert, and its description says that this chain is expert to code in Python only. And the prompt template that we have already declared here will be used here to set this key. So this list will contain the definition of all our destination chains, like the name, the description, and the prompt template. So let's run it. Here we have set our LLM, and we are using the OpenAI LLM, and I have set the temperature to 0 because we want to do the LLM to do more reasoning and to generate the best code. So yeah. In step two, we are since now we have actually declared all the definitions of our chains and the prompt definitions, but here we are declaring the actual LLM chain from the LangChain. Uh, yeah, so we are iterating over the destination chains info list, and for each destination chain info we are getting these two things, the name, like this one, Python expert, and prompt template. So and setting them inside these two variables, like the name and the prompt template. Here we are using the default prompt template from the LangChain, and we are giving the prompt template while iterating through this list. So we are declaring the prompt, and this prompt will be used inside the definitions of a declaration of the LLM chain. Yeah, and here we have set the LLM, and here we have set the a prompt. So, yeah, here we have declared the prompt template for our default chain. If the router chain decides that I am not going to send the input to any of the above chains, then it will be automatically set to the default chain. So, default chain prompt says that understand the input and return the code against the below user input. You are only allowed to code, nothing else. So here our actual input will come. Similarly, we are using the same LLM chain for our default chain as well. So let's run it. So till now we have declared the definitions and the actual declaration of our destination chains. So now it's time to connect our destination chains with the router chain actually. So we are using the information of our destination chains, and we are iterating through this destination chains info, this one, and we are creating a list out of it, and which contains the information in the form of a f string, like the name of the destination chain and the description. So the list will save this information in with the name of the destination, and it will be the information will be joined by the next line character. So if we print out this destination string, it has this information, like the Python expert colon This chain is expert to code in Python only. Similarly, we have the name of the second destination chain like C++ expert and what this chain does. Similarly for the SQL one. So this information will be used inside our router chain, and the router chain will ponder on top of this information and will decide to which destination chain the input will be routed. So let's run it. Yeah. So here we are using the destination chains. Like I said earlier, that this information will be given to the router chain, and for the router chain, this multi-prompt router template definitions from the LangChain will be used. So if we look into the multi-prompt router template, then we will see what has been declared inside in it. So it says that given a raw text input to a language model, select the model prompt best suited for the input. So just like the router, how the router chain works, you will be given the names of the available prompts and a description of what the prompt is best suited for. Just like we have given this information inside the destinations str variable. So yeah, so this is the definition of the multi-prompt router template that has been declared by the LangChain experts. So we will be using it here, and we are setting the destinations variable inside in it with the destination SR like this information. Let's run it. So it says invalid syntax. Sorry. Let's run it. So router template prompt template has been declared here with the variable router prompt. So now it's time to use it inside the LangChain default prompt template. Here we are giving the router prompt the input and the router output parser. Our output will be saved given to the output parser. Now it's time to declare the LLM router chain here from the LangChain. We have already imported it and given it the LLM setted and the router prompt. So let's declare it. So the router chain has been configured. So we will be using this router chain configuration inside the multi-prompt chain. Yeah, so if we look into it, so this class takes the router chain, the destination chains, and the default chain. So all the things have been already declared, and we will be using it here. I have given the router chain here, the destination chains will be given here, and the default chain here will be given. So yeah, so it's time to declare the actual problem statement that we want our coding assistant to solve. So I have explicitly set the language variable with the Python. So in our later video, we will be developing the front end using this Streamlit, and there we will be declaring a drop-down list with all the languages for our AI coding assistant. That's why I have explicitly declared the variable to take the language from the user. So it is set to the Python right now. The prefix prompt says that write code in Python language. So input prompt is this is the actual problem statement. It says that take two sorted arrays, this one, and make a one sorted array from them. So the final prompt will be the concatenation of the prefix prompt and the input prompt. So let's make the query from our to our chain with the final prompt. So here you can see that it goes to the Python expert chain, and with this input like write code in Python language and take two sorted arrays and merge them into one sorted array. So the output has been returned, and this is our the code written by our chain. Let's copy it. So if we want to visualize this code, we will be installing this black library, and here we will be giving our code. So let's run it and see what output looks like. So it has declared the array. array1 and array2 that we gave to it, and then it has concatenated them, and then it uses the sort operation on top of it, and then it prints out the sorted array. So guys, you have seen that it is the actual correct code given by our router chain. And if we run with this input, like give me the factorial of number 32, and the language is being set to C++. So let's see. So the router chain has routed the prompt to the C++ expert chain, and our output has been returned, which starts with the hash include hash string. You can see that we have built a very good AI-based coding assistant. So guys, we saw that how we can use the router chain for building the AI-based coding assistant. If you guys have any other problem in which you want to use the router chain, then you can also use this, but you have to use the different definitions and configurations as per your project requirements. That's all for today. In our next tutorial, we will build the front end by using the Streamlit. And if you guys still have not subscribed my channel, then subscribe it as well. And if you guys have any comments, then comment below. I will be happy to answer your questions. And till then, see you guys. Bye bye. Take care.